Today I have another really fun Ahsoka video for you. We're gonna get spooky by talking about Morgan Elsbeth, but first, one part of the Ahsoka finale that does not get enough attention is when Ezra returns to the known galaxy in the Night Trooper disguise that Chopper saw right through, and Hera is lost for words. And I've seen fans ask, why didn't she just run and give him a big hug? This was the apprentice of her late lover, arguably one of the most important people she ever knew. Both her and Kanan took on Ezra when he was just a kid on Lothal, and he finally came home. He's a big part of her heart. So where was that hug? While having rewatched it, I noticed something in Mary Elizabeth Winstead's expression. The acting was brilliant, and there was both excitement, but also pain. Because yes, on the one hand, Ezra is back, but she was also thinking, why aren't Ahsoka and Sabine with him? And she's also got a bit of dread. She realizes the warning she gave on Coruscant during her trial may have come true, and this is genuinely terrifying. When Mon said, "How real is this threat?" Hera literally replied, "We have to prepare for the worst." And in her mind at this point, Ahsoka and Sabine could be dead. Ezra needs to have that conversation with her, that Ahsoka and Sabine got left behind, but they don't know if they're okay, so that's going to trigger more agitation, more of an emotional response from Hera Syndulla, because she's not going to be composed fighting those battles. She was sent into a mental spiral. It was hard enough losing Kanan, and then Ezra disappearing with the Purgle at the end of Star Wars Rebels, and now she just wanted all her family home. The one that was originally lost came back, but Ahsoka and Sabine did not. That is a tough reality to swallow. She's probably got so many questions, ones which neither she nor Ezra can answer. So those are my thoughts on that scene. So now that Ahsoka is over, I've been making some videos, mainly pertaining to Star Wars lore, that connect in some way to the final episode. Ahsoka Part 8 confirmed that Baylan's quest was directly tied to the Ones, the gods of Mortis. So I decided to go back and rewatch the 3 episodes of the Clone Wars Season 3 that relate to the father, the daughter and the son. I started with the episode titled Overlords, where Ahsoka, Obi-Wan and Anakin meet these mysterious beings for the first time. That was a special episode, seeing Qui-Gon's Force ghost on Mortis, seeing the son impersonate Shmi, and Anakin's pain in that conversation. But when I sat down and rewatched it yesterday, having already rewatched Ahsoka's final episode about 3 times, I was actually blown away by just how many direct connections were there, and how many things in that episode foreshadowed what Dave explored with Baylan. The father literally speaks a line to Anakin that Baylan said to Ahsoka in their first duel on Cetos. In order to create, one must first destroy. Even when Obi-Wan, Anakin and Ahsoka are being led by the daughter, she mentions, quote, "We are the middle, the beginning, and that's the key word, and the end." And Baylan was literally searching for the beginning. There are so many other connections as well. Anakin implied to take the role of the father. The ceiling during Anakin's test, where he's got to save either Ahsoka or Obi-Wan, has nearly the same artistic lines as the Ahsoka credits, the gold and black engraving. Also the way Mortis appears. Obi-Wan literally says he's not sure if they're in the same galaxy. Rex can locate them at the rendezvous point. Now I'm not saying Peridea and Mortis are the same thing. On Mortis the seasons change rapidly. Ahsoka in the Clone Wars notes that Mortis has no animals. So there are a lot of differences, but Dave needs to clear something up. Is Peridea tied to Mortis directly? Is it a similar elevated place? Did the father take the daughter and the son away from Peridea once upon a time to save them from the mother, who Baylan might be trying to awaken? What I'm trying to demonstrate is that Dave Filoni is a master of returning to concepts that at the time they first released, whether it's in shows or books, seem quite irrelevant, quite random, but in reality have a greater purpose, even when he explores it years down the line. There is another example aside from Baylan and the Mortis gods, one that pertains to Morgan Elsbeth. It was so sad that she died, but in a way she served her purpose. Thrawn saw her as disposable. I reckon going into the episode, if we had to predict one death, Morgan Elsbeth would be top of that list. But before she lost to Ahsoka for a second time and perished, she was given something of a Nightsister promotion from the Great Mothers, one which saw her wield the Blade of Talzin, one of the highest honours bestowed upon a Nightsister, or as the Dathomiri say, a Sister of the Night. Very reminiscent of Ventress's initiation, but this time, we need to understand that Morgan Elsbeth was already a Nightsister. This was a celebration and a reward for essentially indirectly causing the revival of Dathomir, because that is where Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Night Mothers headed at the end of the episode. They are going to unleash whatever is in the catacombs, revive them and bring them to life. They once again expanded Star Wars lore by giving us a new concept in Dathomirian tradition, the gift of shadows. And this got me thinking, is there a significance to Morgan Elsbeth being handed Talzin's sword? And it turns out there is. I've already put forward this theory, but I think Morgan Elsbeth is the character Bug from one of the earliest Clone Wars books, Stories of Light and Dark, a short story written by Dave Filoni's wife. And I want to go through a few details I've not really mentioned on the channel that now seem more relevant than ever before. And considering it's spooky season, get comfortable, I'm going to tell you the tale of a character called Bug. There was once a girl on the backwater planet known as CD, the daughter of innkeepers Rank and Lyra, cruel parents, to an innocent, hard-working young girl who was made to sweep the floors and help keep the inn. This naive child spent her days lonely, belittled by her parents, especially her mother. The reason we call her Bug is because she took a liking to ash beetles, and once she attempted to tame one as a pet. She would talk to it. Desperate for love and friendship, she convinced herself this mere insect could understand her. Now here is what's important. The family hotel possessed an abandoned separatist military relay tower, and the reason it was abandoned is because the CIS deemed the backwater planet of CD to be useless and had no purpose for it, so it was abandoned. Bug's parents would charge exorbitant prices to customers just to listen to transmissions like a radio. For them, it was a big source of revenue. One day, Bug's mother squashed the bug, and from there on, she was called Bug, and it is said that she forgot her real name. One day in the lobby, there was a swarm of customers, humans and aliens alike. Just picture Ithorians, Grans, Rhodians, but there was someone else. Someone who looked nothing like anything Bug had ever seen. A Dathomirian witch who had come to this abandoned planetoid looking for news of her lost daughter Yenna. This Dathomirian witch Falter barged through without paying the price of admission, hoping to get to the abandoned military tower, desperate for any information on her lost daughter, who she initially believed was dead after the purge of Dathomir. But luckily she was told on the battlefield, after General Grievous almost made the Dathomirian witches extinct, that her daughter Yenna had survived, and that Mother Talzin sent her off-world just before the purge. Falter, with the help of the tower, was able to locate her daughter in the mid-rim. But before she left, she noticed Bug's situation and felt sorry for her, as a sympathetic mother would. She allowed Bug to come along with her, escaping the terrible life she had on CD, working for her parents. And she was promised eventually a better fitting name. Given the way Dave wants to connect stories, Bug could be Morgan Elsbeth, and the latter is the name she adopted. It could also explain why Morgan Elsbeth looks so different to your average Nightsister. She's very human. Now Falter, the witch who discovered Bug, is not just your ordinary Nightsister. She was one of the most obscure, rule-bending, and powerful witches Dathomir ever saw. She discovered a way to use magic to create life. She had such a knowledge of magic that she literally created her daughter Yenna out of clay, breathing life into her. If Bug became Falter's apprentice, could she have learnt these ways? Did she relay this information to the Great Mothers to help them in their mission to repopulate Dathomir? Are the beings in the catacombs going to be revived with this same unorthodox Dathomirian magic? Now that Morgan Elsbeth is dead, we may never know, but what she could have helped create is going to be a huge part of what comes next in this story. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.